Good evening, everyone. And back in the olden days, England was attacked by a bunch of Scandinavian metalheads called the Vikings, and that's what this aircraft is named after. Now, the actual Lockheed Martin Vikings, or Lockheed Vikings, have been sat in the boneyard for some time. A bit of a strange decision, in my opinion, to retire them. They were a formidable submarine hunting aircraft with a range of 2,765 miles, apparently, from the carrier, which is treble what the FA-18 Hornet can manage. A phenomenal submarine hunter, phenomenal intelligence SIGINT ECM platform, nicknamed the Hoover, and they have been retired for some time now and sat there until the WHIF Madagascan defence chiefs got together and basically, because I've banned buns from office meetings, I've managed to reduce the amount of inter-service bun fights, but the head of the Navy and the head of the Air Force often sit there glaring and making nasty eye contact with each other. And the reason is the Air Force are fed up of their KC-135 refuelling tankers having to go and refuel Navy aircraft. Now, the Navy does have capacity to refuel its own carrier aircraft, so the Rafales and the Skyhawks carry buddy pods, so do the Buccaneers, but it isn't quite the same as having a offload from a KC-135. The Navy, on the other hand, complain that the Air Force is always finding reasons to refuel its own aircraft and not the Navy aircraft. The Navy do understand that the KC-135s have to fly to the middle of nowhere in the Indian Ocean to refuel their aircraft, so a compromise has been reached. 9 KS-3M Vikings will be brought into service from the aircraft which is sat at Davis Monahan Air Force Base. A good deal has been done with the Lyndsey Greyhound Military Industrial Complex, which will see 30 airframes purchased, of which around 21 will be returned to service, 9 in the refuelling tanker guise, and the rest will be used for another project which I'm working on, which is currently top secret because I haven't decided what it is. Now, the Lockheed Corporation did have plans to create a tanker for the US Navy, and in many ways that makes more sense to a lot of people than what they are trying to do with the MQ-25, which is, if you like, to reinvent the wheel. The Viking has performed the air refuelling role for the US Navy before, but it's done so with minimal modifications. Now, this isn't as an extensive series of modifications as the KS-3A proposal by Lockheed would have been. This is the M for Madagascan Malagasy version, and this is L for Luana. Luana is giving the fleet legs, and she's doing that by, she's got a FA-18 big tank there under her wing. She has her weapons bays converted to fuel tanks. She's lost her anti-submarine gear at the rear there, and again that provides space for more fuel to be carried. And she's got a British style, a Cobham style refuelling kit, buddy pod under her wing there. She's still fully carrier capable of being catapulted into the air from the Madagascan carriers, and she belongs to the Angry Crabs squadron. 9 of them exist, and this is going to give a big boost to the Malagasy Fleet Air Arm. Now, currently they have to do refuelling either from the Air Force aircraft, which takes a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of finger pointing to organise, or they have to use buddy pods under the Rafale and under the Skyhawks. And the idea with having these tankers is, with the growth of anti-ship missile threats, just go and ask the Moskva, the big tanker opportunity, the big tanker capability that the Vikings will provide will be far, better than what they can provide just from buddy pods under Rafales. And that means that with the threats growing and the growth in an anti-ship missile lethality, they can push the aircraft further out. So they can push the Hawkeyes further out to give a better picture of the battlefield. They can push the Rafales further out. And then the F-32Cs, when they come into service en masse, they can push them away from the carrier. Now, just to give an indication of how big the problem is for the Americans with range, is the FA-18 Hornet has a really tiny range compared to the F-14D Tomcat, which it replaced. And that means that actually you can't project your carrier air patrols, your CAPs, your combat air patrols, sorry, where you need to stop the incoming anti-ship missile threat. You can't push your Hawkeyes out to stop those hypersonic anti-ship missiles from coming in. With the Viking, you can push all of your assets further out. You can, one, deliver better strike packages using the Buccaneers and the Rafales, and two, you can push your combat air patrols out to give your carrier air group better protection. Big changes to this is the fuel situation I've outlined, and it doesn't have the two rear crew compartments that can be used for baggage, for if you like a carrier onboard delivery light system. It doesn't need 4 crew, or the pilots and stuff can have a rest, make some food from a microwave in the back there, because this aircraft does have a good range and endurance, and it is air refuelable itself from a little hatch here, and the probe comes out. I've done it with the probe in, and it can really push those assets out. 2 crew is all you need for the role, and this is designed to be a force multiplier for the Navy. This is of course the ancient Hasegawa kit, which is still the only one on the market, and it's a good little kit. It has got raised panel lines, which will put a lot of people off, and they'll probably want to rescribe them and add all the rivets. I'm not that kind of modeler. I model what if for a reason. And the only main deficiency I can see on this kit is, one, I nicked the pylons to use on the Sea Hercules, so I've had to make my own pylons for the buddy pod and the fuel tank from Plasticard. And two, the original models came with a tinted smoked canopy, which the later ones, the later boxings, don't. And I've got a fair few of these stashed away in the Loft Air Force Base, which I've had for many years stashed away, like it's become a bit of a boneyard itself. And I've just used a wash to kind of give the canopy that smoked look. It is a naval aircraft. It's already entered service, topping things up. So of course it's accumulated some of the standard naval grime. Now, the only other thing I would say about this kit is underneath I struggled with the seam lines. I've used filler just to take out some of the sonar buoy holes, but I've not done it to like a flush extent, because I don't think it would be flush. I think it would just be quite a filled in job in reality. And again, I've just added some grime that goes with carrier operations. Would I change anything with this build? Yes, I would pay more attention to those seam lines. I think the ones on the top have come together well, but I really need to work on my seams and my wing seams, and just as a modeler going forwards, I really need to get the file out more and be a bit more abrasive with the kits. But I hope you like it. I hope it's to your liking. It's done in a low vis scheme. The Hasegawa decals are absolutely excellent. If you do get a chance to buy this kit, they are available for a low price on AliExpress, which compares favourably to the crazy prices on eBay. It is a great model. Take care. Goodbye.